The Willys Americar was a line of automobiles produced by Willys Overland Motors from like 1937 to 1942, either as a sedan, coupe, station wagon, or pickup truck. Now the coupe version is the most popular one as far as hot rods are concerned, and there's a fella in Liberty who believes in the legacy of the Willys enough to build them. I'm Donna Kessler, and we are talking Willys and nothing but Willys today at Willy Works. Today on this episode of My Ride Garage. Vinny Carigliano, owner of Willy Works in Liberty, wanted a Willys so bad that he came up with a way to make one. Vinny, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome.
My
pleasure.
I love your shop. Now, you got to give a little bit of history of why Willys.
Okay. This car behind me is the 1941 Willys Coupe. I adore this car. To me, this is the most beautiful car ever made. I've had a fantasy on this car ever since I was a kid, and I'm still fulfilling my dreams.
Now tell a little bit, now you made like molds, and you mold the fiberglass in these molds,
right,
and make these models. It like reminds me of the models that come in the little
right.
box, like you snap together kind of thing.
This is the 1941 mold right here. Right. A second generation. First generation was from that original car, which I scrapped. This mold here, I started basically around the 1st of October, and it came online the first or second week in March. It's like 3 or 4 months of work just to make that mold.
Now you have a number of molds.
Right.
And so what are the cars that you can create here?
I build a 33, 34 Willys Coupe, sedan delivery, and 2 and 4 door sedans. The Willys pickup, which I'm building right now for a man out of Buffalo. I do a 37 Willys in the coupe and the pickup. I do a 40 and a 41 in the coupe and the pickup.
Wow, and you have all molds for them.
All molds, which I made. And I also do a 32 Ford Highboy.
Oh, there you go. Now you have what you call the war room.
Yes.
And that's where you do all your fiberglass work.
Right.
And we're going to go in there in a minute, but...
what you see here on the sides, these are all molds.
Uh-huh.
Those are all molds, and that room is full of molds, and this is where the stuff is made over there.
So how far to completion do you do with these cars?
I can go from a body, which in the beginning is what I used to sell. Today, everybody wants a turnkey. Nobody wants to... Basically, I see myself as a hired gun. They hire me to do it, and that's okay with me. I don't even have a car. I'm trying to build one, but I have no time for a car.
Well, tell me about this project right here.
This was I built this car for a man in the late 80s. I've upgraded this to everything. I've put a 4-piece nose on it. This had a 350 motor in it. It was kind of ratty. I upgraded everything. We put Edelbrock fuel injection on it. It's got all stainless exhaust, which I made for this thing. Got electric cutouts. So inside
you do a lot of customizing work too.
I do everything.
Yeah.
I do everything.
Now with this building, you have this building where you do all your mold work and fiberglass, right?
I built this building just for Willy Works.
Right.
This is just to do fiberglass in here.
But you have another separate building where you do your metal work.
All my metal work.
Right?
Yes.
Now, not only do you do the fiberglass bodies, but you pretty much complete these cars like we were talking about. Now, we are in his metal shop, and this place is just wonderful in here. And you have a series of templates here that you use to make like hinges and supports and all that stuff. Now, you're working on a pickup truck for somebody. What year is that?
It's a 1933 Willys pickup. The man brought a nice man from Buffalo. An older guy, and it's going to be a turnkey. Basically, the frame was all screwed up. I've redone the frame, moved everything in the right position, and then he called me up a couple weeks ago, and now he wants to put a blower in the car. So, bingo.
Anything sticking through the hood is all right in my book.
I had to cut the motor mounts out. I had to cut the transmission out. And I moved everything back 4 inches. That's all welded back in place. Now, I have to still shorten the drive shaft, and I'm doing the steering rack for him.
Now these, somebody's going to look at this and say, would you call that a kit car? I don't call this a kit car.
No. No, it's a homemade car, I guess.
Right.
I'm licensed by the Commerce Department in Washington. When a person buys a car from me, at the end, he gets a bill of sale for the car, and he also gets a certificate of origin. And with that, they'll go to the motor vehicle. I register them as 41s or 33s, whatever they are. And they go there, they pay the sales tax to the DMV for the cost of the car, and there you go.
Yeah. And you have had 35 years of experience doing this?
35 years. I'm figuring, I don't know exactly how many cars I've made, but it's probably somewhere between 300 and 500.
Wow. It is great having you right in our backyard, too, I'll have to say. Yeah. Thank
really
you
will.
so much.
You're welcome.
For joining
Pleasure
me.
meeting you.
Thank you. The Willys, a car with sought-after styling and a past history like none other. And both are being preserved right here from Willy Works. Till next time, this is Donna Kessler for My Ride Garage.